What's up, guys? Today we're talking about how spices are going to help us understand music theory. All right? Now, imagine I had to cook with all these spices, but I could not see their labels. I could taste them beforehand, and then I would figure out what it is because I've recognized that taste. But I'm not allowed to label them. So imagine labeling spices was illegal, or people said it binds us because it says now you have to use this much salt or whatever. It doesn't bind you. It actually frees you because it helps me to know, okay, if I want salt, I just go to the thing that says salt and then I pour that in and I know what taste is going to happen. Same thing with music theory. If I kind of want a certain sound in my head, I know how to get that sound because I have labeled that sound in my mind previously. For instance, if I hear da da da, I know how to get those notes on the guitar. Okay, I know it's going to be, if I start here, it's going to be 2 frets and then another 2 frets. Okay, whole steps in music theory. So it actually frees me up to create cooler things faster, right? If I was to look at my spices and I see, okay, I've got cumin and I've got cinnamon, I know what these things taste like. So I can kind of imagine what the combination also tastes like. And sometimes, you memorize the combination, like salt and pepper. Most people know what those two will taste like together. Or salt, pepper, and garlic. That has a certain kind of taste if you mix those together. Same way with chords. If you mix a 1, a 3, and a 5, you get a major sounding chord. And when you're improvising, you can kind of use that knowledge to kind of hear, or in music, in food, you taste it before you kind of put the spices together. You kind of feel it in your head. It's kind of making that connection already before you play it. And that makes you make cooler stuff faster. All right? Because then you hear it and you get feedback and you're like, okay, what if I... So let me kind of run with this thing. If you have salt here as one flavor, and just think of flavors the same as sounds, and then you have pepper, and then and then you have garlic. Okay. And what if I increase if I have some experience, I know what it's going to sound like if I make the garlic very strong, or I know what it's going to taste like if I make that strong. And it's the same way with music. I know what's going to happen if I do a certain thing, and I'm not thinking of that as random things that I'm doing. I'm thinking of it as a labeled kind of move. For instance, if I play a D chord, I know what it's going to sound like if I play a D sus chord. It's all a music theory concept. It doesn't limit me. It doesn't say I have to play a D sus4. It just means I've got a label assigned to something, and I know what that something's going to sound like. If I think about the chords inside of a key, I've labeled my chords. When I'm playing these chords, D, G, A, D. I'm thinking of that as a 1 chord. I'm thinking of my D as a 1 chord, and my G as a 4 chord. D as a 1, G as a 4, and A as the 5 chord. And my 6th chord is B minor, if I want to, think like that. But I know there are certain moves that I can do over the 4 chord because I've studied some music theory. I know over the 4 chord, I can really play a sharp 4 of that chord to get a lot of tension in that chord. Okay. So if I do this, if I play D, I know, oh, that's tension. And I know where to find the sharp 4 because I've studied some scales and delved into other parts of music theory. It just helps me to know, and I know what that sharp 4 was going to sound like before I played it. Just like a good chef knows exactly how this spice is going to change his dish, how it's going to change the taste. This is braai salt. This is something you put on meat is in South Africa. So this is going to, we know what this is going to sound. If we buy braai salt, we know we put it on a steak and it's fine. You know, this is a mix of spices, but we know what the mix more or less kind of tastes like. Some MSG in there, some salt, some pepper, you know, some garlic and things like that. So just like a good chef knows how to recognize tastes, when you're a good musician and you understand music theory, you're going to listen to stuff and you're going to say, that's salt and that's pepper. I know it. You know, I'm not sure exactly how much salt, I'm not sure exactly how much pepper, but I know you just put salt and pepper on that. You know what I mean? And when you listen to a song, you're going to be like, oh, I know that's the 1/4 progression. That's 1/4. And then you can learn actually from just listening to music and not actually picking up your guitar. So you can learn, oh, you know, this guy is interesting. He did 1/4, 1/4, but he kept the bass on the 1. He kept the bass on the 1 the whole time. So that was like... Then he goes to the 5 and he keeps the 1 on the bass. You know, I can listen to songs that use that and I can be like, oh, that's very interesting. You know, I'm going to use that next time. Just like a chef can eat a steak with a certain sauce or something and he can be like, wow, this is really interesting. I've never thought of combining this sauce and this spice with a steak. And he's kind of learning while he's consuming someone else's food. You know, it's not all about trial and error. It's about kind of labeling things. And that's what you got to think about music theory. Music theory is not a set of rules. It's not like you have to play this scale over this chord. No, it's just saying when you play the 2 note over the 1 chord, it's going to sound a certain way. And it's going to have certain kind of tendencies to go, it's going to pull the music in a certain way. You know, for instance, if I play a G, that note is pulling back there or up. You know, and I know it was going to pull because I know what that sound feels like. Just like you know, if you play a D, you know what it's going to sound like if I put my pinky down. You can already hear it. You know what I mean? If you've been playing guitar just for a little bit and you've done that before, you've kind of labeled that. And if you can label it as not just, oh, if I put my pinky there, but if you can label it as, that's what a sus4 sounds like. And furthermore, if you know the scale and you know how to find a sus4, then you can do it with any chord. Or it's the same sound, you know, and you can find it anytime. And you can listen to a song on the radio, you can be like, oh, that's what they're doing. 1 sus4. They're going to the suspended 4th note. Oh, wow. You see, so it kind of frees you up. And I hope this is helpful just in terms of how you think about music theory. If you want to know more, I have a full music theory course. It's about 20 lessons and very long with PDFs and everything in the Jooba people community. Go check it out. Links in the description. Link in the description. Not the PDF for this, because this is, you can screenshot this. This is not really helpful. But the PDF for all the music theory stuff. Bye-bye.